Do you have what it takes to be the voice of UVS Games in Europe? Are you adept in Riftbound, Universus, TCGs with the relevant experience to be their big voice within Europe, Middle East, and Asia? And most importantly, I guess, parlez-vous couramment français? So, it was brought to my attention that UVS Games are looking for a European team. Now, what I love about being the mad conspiracy guy is people just chuck this stuff at me now, and it's absolutely great. I would usually go looking, but but it looks like UVS Games is looking to expand into Europe, Middle East, and Asia, which is what EMEA stands for: Europe, Middle East, and Asia. They're looking to bring in a retail development manager. They're looking to bring in a key account manager and a trade marketing manager. Sorry about that, my camera was taking a little bit long to catch up. So, what do these roles entail? Well, a trade marketing manager, as we can see from here. UVS Games are known for doing My Hero Academia, Godzilla, Star Trek, Street Fighter, and have built a reputation of tactical games with fan favourite Universus. That's annoying that it doesn't say fan favourite Universus. With the global launch of Riftbound, the League of Legends TCG, they're entering into a new phase of explosive expansion and are looking for builders and people ready to distribute the TCG. So, immediately there's no reference to Universus, which is supposed to be the flagship UVS Games, but leveraging Riftbound's big name and explosive popularity does kind of make sense here. On top of that, the mission will be reporting to the head of retail experience. You'll be an architect for the for our physical presence across Europe. Your mission is to define and deploy the perfect store strategy for both hobby and mass retails, ensuring that every time a customer walks in the store, whether it's a boutique in Paris, a retail in Japan, a retail chain in Berlin, Riftbound is visible, accessible, and irresistible. Now, interesting, it's focusing on stars, because as we've seen with the explosion of like the TFT tournament and things like that, wherever League of Legends is, Riftbound should be. And things like Dokumi, Japan Expo, Dutch Comic Con, where they have these exquisite League of Legends cosplayers, and you have this League of Legends presence from the community, would also be a great place to put Riftbound. What I'm a little bit annoyed at is we were told this year that the Universus European storefront will be growing, that there was plans in place to have Universus grow, so when we get regionals back, if we get regionals back, there will be a structure in place to make sure that these events thrive and not just exist. And when I initially saw that we were going to be getting an EMEA, I was expecting it to be with Universus, but this is going to be deployed in France, and it is looking like it's going to be Riftbound focus. Now, Riftbound and League of Legends have got a massive foothold in France and massive European appeal, and I understand that Universus will benefit from this, but as a Universus player first and foremost, this is disappointing to me right out of the gate. The focus on Riftbound with no mention of the other game. In fact, a active kind of way of not mentioning the other game, just mentioning the IPs they've adapted into games. Not the best look in my opinion. So if you are interested in this role, looking for someone who can solve problems, who can assess what stars need and what players need, so that when they walk in, Riftbound is a fun, irresistible, accessible experience. I'm not the person for this. I don't know what you'd want from this. As far as I know, Riftbound is flying out of stores quicker than it can come in. So I guess it's just more about identifying ways to expand into other areas that maybe it isn't selling. It maybe areas where it's being sold but not being played. They also mentioned the OP experience, organized play, and other things going from there. If you want to get this role, if you want to try and go for this job, you will need, let's see if I can just make this a bit bigger. You'll need 3 years of experience in trade marketing, shopper marketing, or channel marketing, a player-first mindset, industry background with toys, games, or consumers, skills such as being proficient in Microsoft Office, Adobe, some familiarity with Adobe, strong written and verbal skills, probably in both English and French, the ability to adapt and learn from new software, and synthesize complex data to clear business recommendations. You'll need analytical excellence, mobility, scaled adaptability. Cultural affinity is a bonus. So if you're engrossed in pop culture, card games, video games, if you understand what the people within the Venn diagram of gamers and League of Legends, and card gamers and Arcane fan, League of Legends fans, Wild Rift fans are going to want, then that's going to be absolutely amazing. And of course, if you're fluent in both English and French. Going on from there, they're looking for a retail development manager. Again, they're looking for someone who can expand and grow Riftbound. The mission is to become a star whisperer. You're looking at increasing the sales by increasing the number of stars selling and hosting events. Your goal will be essentially you'll be a hunter. You would be looking to onboard new stars around Europe, actively looking for the hunt of hybrid retailers such as video game cafes, manga stores, esports bars, anywhere where Riftbound League of Legends can kind of thrive. Similar to Gary's Hastings board game museum, where you can kind of catch people doing multiple things. This would be the kind of thing where Dokumi and Japan Expo and Dutch Comic Con will all kind of really thrive, where you will find people who may not know about Riftbound, may not have been exposed to Riftbound, but would be enticed by it. If you can go to MCM Expo, if you can go to Dokumi, if you go to places where the League of Legends cosplayers are, if you can go where the League of Legends fan and the Arcane fans are going to be, Insomnia's coming back, which is a massive video game convention in England. If you then smack a Riftbound table down there, well, if people are waiting to try out other games, they might come and do a Riftbound demo. And if they love League of Legends, if they love Arcane, they're going to fall in love with the art and the gameplay. And it makes kind of sense that you want that kind of synergistic uplifting. Again, I'm really disappointed that it doesn't mention Universus, because this is the kind of thing Universus really needs. And this hybrid store, hybrid mentality, especially when you're looking at things like manga cafes and things like that, would be perfect for what this game needs. And maybe there will be some spillover, but if I was taking this job and I saw in there that it was all about Riftbound, and then also, oh yeah, we also need you to promote this secondary game, that's outside the scope. That's not what I signed up for, in my personal opinion. So if you look at this one, again, you need to be fluent in English and French, 2 years of experience in a hobby game industry, store manager, publisher, district rep, or even retail coaching. Player first mindset as always. Similar adaptation and presentation skills, ability to adapt to new software, MS Office fluent, analytic excellent, mobility, scaling, and cultural affinity. I think especially for this one, the cultural affinity will be the big thing. If you don't know how to engage with cosplayers, influencers, if you don't know where and when people are showing up, if you were looking at expanding and you went into reputation and didn't know about it, you could get yourselves into some trouble. But if you went in looking at things like Insomnia or, well, best way to put it is there was a convention called Cos Expo which had a gaming section, but it was all about cosplay. This is not the place for Riftbound. Insomnia is, MCM is, MegaCon is, that kind of thing. You want the gaming conventions, you want the big cool things. And similar to, especially if you're looking at the Asian markets, getting it into the internet cafes, the places where people go and play this game, where when they're taking breaks from school and work and they're not at home and they're logging in for hours on end, or manga cafes in Japan, if you can get Riftbound advertising there, that's really cool, because that's the kind of people that are going to be looking at there, and the kind of people that are looking for a kind of escape from their current situation. And of course, you need to be fluent in English and French, as I said at the beginning. The last role is a key accounts manager. Again, talking about how they've worked with other IPs into other games, but then making this, then with League of Legends launching, they're looking to expand. And this is about reaching new LGSs, new retailers. It's about creating this store-first approach. It's something I've been asking for in Universus for about 2 years. Getting the local play under control, expanding local game stores, expanding the distribution, making sure that stores feel heard and coming up with ways to grow potential risks, potential outliers, ways to make Riftbound bigger and stronger and able to thrive in this bubble of TCGs where more and more are dropping. We've got Naruto getting a new game. We've got Palworld now getting a game. You've got big up and comers such as Grand Archive, which is 2 years and massively going. Flesh and Blood is starting to get more traction in the West. So being able to keep up with those games, you need someone who, again, has this cultural affinity, but also has the pattern recognition to find out where stars will need to pick this up, where you need to allocate resources and to make the game thrive in certain areas. A big one here is we have Spellbound in London, who are doing amazingly at pushing Riftbound. Teaming up with people like Riftlab, they're able to really push the game in London, and their Spirit Forge pre-releases sold out ridiculously quickly, and they're centered in London, but there are other places in London, and if you can get those guys under control, you can get a massive influence in London. I know Magic Madhouse and Dark Sphere already do a lot of good stuff in London around Riftbound, but they don't match Spellbound in their advertising and the way they push it. Similar to Fanboy 3 in Manchester or Excelsior in Bristol. What you really want is people with the social media presence, drawing people in. It's not just about selling the game or playing the game anymore, it's about building the community. And places like Spellbound and Card Goblin and Patriot Games are great at building communities and having that dedicated fan base. But yeah, this video's already gone on a lot longer than I thought it was going to do. I'm a bit disappointed that Universus wasn't mentioned throughout any of this. That really does kind of suck to me, because this is not what I expected when I was told UVS is building a European team. It's great that Riftbound's getting this kind of support, and it's great to see UVS pushing Riftbound into Europe and trying to build this structure of stars. And I imagine that yes, that will trickle down to Universus and we will get some support, but it's not direct support. It's not what we were told we were getting from organized play around building the Universus European scene. I'm glad the Riftbound players are getting the support, and hopefully the local scene patterns will change with this support, and we'll see more accommodation for casual players, growth of community, not just all competitive all the time. And I really do hope this kind of trickles down to Universus and we see some growth in Central Europe and England as well, and the UK as well, because we want our regionals back. We want the high-end competitive playback. But it just looks like, as much as I said it wasn't going to happen, Universus is now being overshadowed by Riftbound in Europe, and that's not good for us over here. You've already got players unhappy, and this is just going to make them more unhappy. But if you are interested, you can head over to UVS Games. You can check it in the Work With Us section. They seem like really cool roles. They seem like a lot of fun and a lot of pressure. And the scope of the jobs just seems like you're going to be at the forefront of building the Riftbound community in Europe. And if this is in your wheelhouse, go for it. Just remember, you do need to speak fluent French. Other than that, I will catch you all next time. I need to wrap this up soon because I've got to start live streaming. I wasn't actually going to record anything for the next couple of days so I can prepare for the stream. But this news dropped and I want to get it out. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the comments below if you're a Riftbound player. Are you excited for this expansion? If you're a Universus player, do you wish we were mentioned in this expansion? And just what your general thoughts and feelings are about this community first growth of both games. I will catch you at game night, and hopefully I'll catch you at regional soon. Bye.